Hello, welcome. My name is Amy. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist and a metabolic balance coach, and I'm so happy to see that you are here and that you're excited to learn more about what it looks like to work one-on-one with a nutritionist so that you can get your gut health, your hormone health, and your metabolic health in order for the rest of your life. So, in this presentation today, we're going to cover some really important ground, like what is metabolic balance? How does it work? What is the science behind it? And why is it so effective? We're also going to cover what specifically this entire 6-month timeline of coaching process looks like and all of the touch points along that timeline. Metabolic Balance is an innovative and all-natural program that brings balance to your hormones, it optimizes your health, and it leads to a new and invigorating lifestyle that results in successful long-term weight management. So the Metabolic Balance program was developed over 25 years ago by Dr. Wolf Funfak in Germany. And this program was originally designed to help heal inflammation and reverse metabolic syndrome. This also resulted in achieving optimal body weight for all of his patients, which was amazing. And this program was designed by the studying of chemistry of one's individual lab values, meaning their blood work, and the chemistry of food, and then using food as a prescription instead of drugs. So to this date, this program is managed by dedicated physicians and nutritional scientists. So when we do this metabolic balance program together, you have me who's on your team. I'm guiding you through this entire process. And we also have an entire team of doctors, nutrition specialists, and naturopathic doctors as well on your side. The foundation of this program is Metabolic Balance's unique capability to develop a truly personalized nutrition plan that's based on an in-depth analysis of your blood values, your medical history, and also your personal likes and dislikes. This personalized nutrition plan is going to act as your roadmap, indicating exactly which foods that you should eat in order to orchestrate the biochemical changes needed for reaching your desired weight and health goals. So metabolic balance is 100% natural. There are no prescribed injections, no pills, shakes, proprietary foods, nothing of a sort. Nor, as with some diets, are you required to keep points or to count calories throughout this process, which I think is just really, really wonderful. In fact, your local grocery store, your farmers markets, these can easily provide all of the wholesome ingredients that you actually need that are going to be listed on your personalized plan. So what exactly can you expect from metabolic balance? The first thing is weight loss and improved energy. This is a very, very easy thing to achieve when we start in this program within the first 1 to 2 weeks. Better sleep, improved moods, less bowel and stomach problems. So some of my clients experience constipation coming into this program and become more regular. I've had people telling me that they're getting better quality sleeps. They're waking up feeling refreshed for the first time in years. Potential reduction or elimination for the need of high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetic medication. So, of course, we are referring to diabetes type 2, not diabetes type 1, but this program is designed to bring your metabolic health into order, which means that things like your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, your cholesterol levels start to regulate on their own. We can expect to see hormonal rebalancing as well as improved immune function. In addition to all of that, reduced allergies and intolerances to foods and external, the world during the spring, for example, is a really good one. Improved joint inflammation and pain. This is massive. So when I first started this program, I started to notice my lower back and my shoulder were far less inflamed than they had been all of the time. You can save money on your weekly grocery bills, especially if you're somebody who eats out quite a lot. This program really does pay for itself in just a few months. There's also this program, Metabolic Balance, has the highest success rate for long health benefits and weight. So we're going to get a little bit more into that later. And then finally, a potential benefit for sufferers of polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome, formerly known as PCOS, diabetes type 2, and also metabolic syndrome. So there's a lot of really wonderful things, a lot of good that can come from taking some time on this plan. So how does metabolic balance actually work? There are 8 daily rules that you want to follow during this plan, and honestly, at any point during our entire life. So the first rule is we want to eat exactly 3 well-balanced meals per day and no grazing, no snacking in between. So we will provide you with the specific meal plan, including specific foods to have during each of those meals during the day. The idea here is that we want to balance insulin levels. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about insulin shortly here, but this meal plan is designed to keep you full, and it's designed to keep your insulin levels, your hormone levels in check. So this is why grazing and snacking is not encouraged during this time. The second daily rule is to ensure that you have a 5-hour break between each of your meals. This is really important again for insulin levels. When we are constantly grazing, we keep our insulin levels high. Again, we'll touch a little bit more on this later, but this is the second really important rule. The third one is to make sure that no meal lasts longer than 60 minutes. So particularly for the folks who bring their lunch to their desk while they're working and they sort of pick at it for the next few hours, this is where we really want to dedicate some time to consume your 3 meals so that you can actually allow your hormone levels to balance. You can allow your digestive system to rest between meals. Next up is to begin every meal with 1 or 2 bites of protein. So when we start our meal with protein, it helps with amino acids getting into your system first. These amino acids then convert into, they stimulate glucagon, which basically slows down insulin release, and it signals a leptin response. So what leptin is it's a hormone that indicates that you're feeling full. So starting every meal with a couple bites of protein is a really wonderful way to help to keep you feeling satiated and also to support your insulin and hormone levels. Rule number 5. You want to be sure to have only 1 kind of protein per meal and have 3 different types of protein every day. Again, this is provided for you when we get your blood results and create your nutrition plan. Number 6, if possible, do not eat after 9 p.m. Now, of course, this is not going to be relevant for people who work shift work. There's always some exceptions, but ideally, we want to try not to have any food after 9 p.m. to really get into a healthy circadian rhythm. Number 7, you want to drink the prescribed quantity of water, so no more and no less. Along with your nutrition plan, we're also going to give you a prescribed amount of water to drink every day. This is going to support your detox pathways, and it's also going to support your body's ability to excrete toxins. So this is very, very important. And then the 8th and final rule is to eat an apple a day. It really is just as they've always said, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. You want to have 1 apple a day with one of your meals. The reason for that is that apples are power-packed multivitamins. They've got really supportive ingredients like pectin, for example, which are supportive for your digestive system and helps to draw toxins to your colon for elimination and also lowers uric acid levels. So there's a lot of really wonderful benefits there. Let's talk a little bit about insulin. So insulin is a massive hormone. What happens is that when we eat any type of food, right, particularly foods that have some carbohydrates in them, but also proteins, and all of our foods can increase insulin levels. This is a natural response that happens. But when we have our insulin levels constantly high, it also means that our cholesterol goes up, our triglyceride level goes up, adrenaline, which is our stress hormone, goes up, and so does cortisol. So this is really not supportive for having a healthy and balanced lifestyle, because what happens is that means that our melatonin goes down. When melatonin is down, this is our sleep hormone. It means that we're not going to be getting the best quality of rejuvenating sleep. It means that DHEA also starts to go down. This is what's going to support the building of all of your other hormones. It's going to reduce your human growth hormone as well as your ability to break down fat. So this is why we really want to manage the release of insulin in our body by knowing what we're putting into our body in precise levels and at precise times of the day. So for those of us who are a little bit more visual, this is what it looks like if you were to eat 6 meals a day. So you can see here, when you're eating a meal, your insulin level goes up, and then it goes down shortly after your meal, and then you eat again and it goes up, and then it goes down and it goes up. And this is the sort of game that's happening all of the time. So this space here in the blue, those would be the times when you're fasted, right? When you're not eating something, and that's when you're able to break down fat. That's when your body naturally heals itself, and that time fasted is so supportive for your overall health, for your hormones, for your digestive health. Now, let's take a look at with eating 3 meals a day. You can see here that insulin level goes up and then it drops down. It takes about 2 hours from when you eat to when insulin comes back down in a healthy body, right? And then you're going to have quite a lot more time of fat burning, of cellular rejuvenation, of detoxification. And this is a much cleaner and healthier cycle. So with metabolic balance, your insulin should go up and down within 2 hours after a meal. So that means that you're only having insulin elevated for 6 hours a day. That means that you're fasting for 18 hours in a day, which is so nourishing and so supportive on your body. And I'm going to reiterate that the way these plans are designed, they're designed to keep you feeling satiated. They're supportive in fats, they're supportive in proteins. You get the right amount of carbohydrates for your body, the right amount of water, that you're not really thinking about food in the in-between time, because we're properly nourishing our bodies. So metabolic balance is done in 4 different phases. So I'm going to walk you through what those 4 phases look like. The first phase is the preparation phase. This prep phase is 2 days long. I'm going to be there with you every step of the way during that 2 days. And this is a colon cleanse. This is a detoxification phase where you're getting your body ready to get into what we call the strict phase. So the first 2 days, prep phase, you want to stay a little closer to home. I'll be there with you, like your bestie on your phone, to help you and support you through that. It's really not so bad, and it's very, very attainable. It's actually kind of a nice little just time to be home and to rest and to be in your body. And then we go into the strict phase, which is at least 14 days. Now, the strict phase is where you're going to be following your plan to a T with no deviation. This 16-day period, phase 1 and phase 2, are by far going to be the most, let's say, challenging, though still very attainable. And this is where we're going to have constant communication. I'll be there to answer questions for you. You're going to start to get used to what it feels like to follow those 8 daily rules. You're going to get used to what it feels like to eat the foods that are on your plan. And you're going to start to notice some massive shifts in your body, in your metabolism, in your hunger levels. And this is where you're really going to start to notice the shifts that are happening. So that first 16 days is crucial. Then after 14 days, we go into a sort of 2.5 or phase 3. Because everybody's goals are very different, it's going to depend on where you are at. So we're going to assess where you're at the end of this 14 days. If your goal was weight loss, for example, or if your goal was to get better quality sleep, or if your goal was to support your digestive system, we'll reassess and then we'll go from there. After this point, you're going to add back in oils, because during that 14-day, you're doing a lipid cleanse, meaning that you're removing any added oils from your diet. And then we're going to add back in oils and go into what we call the relaxed phase. So the relaxed phase in phase 3 is where you start to put in some treat meals every week, where you start to open up your nutrition plan quite a lot. So again, during the strict phase, you're going to have fewer options to choose from, which honestly is really relaxing. It's so nice just knowing exactly what you need. And then during phase 3, that starts to open up. More foods are going to be added in. You're going to start to play around and really notice how your body feels when you're incorporating more foods into your diet. Now, this phase right here can last for months, weeks. It really depends, again, on your goals and how close you are to reaching your goals. Because we're going to be staying in communication during this time, I'm going to be helping you to understand what to add in, when to add it in, as well as when to move on based on what you say your goals are when we first start working together. Again, an example would be if you know that you wanted to lose 20 pounds and you lose 20 pounds, let's say at day 16 after phase 1 and phase 2, you can go directly into phase 3. If you know that you still have a few pounds left to go, then we would stay in phase 2.5, where you're adding in a few more foods, you're having some treat meals, you're relaxed, you've added oils back in, etc. And once you've reached your goal, you go into relaxed. Now, from relaxed phase, after you're feeling really comfortable and you know your plan, you know your foods, you're starting to really understand your body in a bigger way, then we go into the maintenance phase. And this is where you're going to let this carry through, hopefully for the rest of your life. These are core principles that are going to support you long term. And the idea is that this is a one-time investment that you make in yourself, where you really start to understand how to truly nourish your body with the specific foods that are supportive for you based on your blood. Now, what does the meal plan actually look like? This is an example of what it could look like. This is not necessarily my plan. This is an example of a plan. You're going to be given some breakfast options, lunch options, and dinner options. And again, based on your demographics and based on your goals, you're going to be given amounts of everything here. And then you can absolutely mix and match the lunches. You can mix and match the dinners. You can mix and match the lunches with the dinners. You would just adjust the protein amounts as well as the carbohydrate amounts. And again, we can get all into this once we actually are working together. This is just high level for now. Now, this is a little bit of a deeper dive. So your personal food list. So if we go back here for a moment, you're going to notice that there's mushrooms as a protein. This one has meat. This one has eggs, fish, etc. You're going to have a whole list of specifically what types of proteins to have in different categories. Now, remember when I mentioned that you want to have 3 different proteins every day, and we don't want to combine proteins. This is how it's going to be laid out so that it makes it very easy to understand. And it's going to look very similar for your carbohydrates and all of the other food groups there as well. We're all going to have some fruits on there. All of us have an apple. Now, pretty much everyone, as long as you don't have Hashimoto's or celiac disease, are going to have 100% rye bread as an option on there. If you do have celiac or Hashimoto's, again, your plan would look a little bit different. But these options are also here so that you can mix, match, and play and try different foods that are going to support you long term. Now, what is metabolic balance's success rate? First, let's define what classifies a successful weight loss plan. This is when an individual reaches their goal weight rather, and then maintains it for 2 years. So metabolic balance has a 60% success rate, 60 to 80, but we'll say 60 and just stay on the lower side, which is massive. Just for clarification, the next highest success rate in North America is Weight Watchers at 22%. So this is amazing. It's the only program that has higher than 50% success rate in over 35 countries. So that's amazing. And it's global, which is just, again, phenomenal. So you might be wondering as well, like, what can I expect to lose when it comes to weight? And I know, again, not everybody has weight loss as a goal, but we're just going to add this in there because I know that this is a big question that comes up quite often. While everybody will respond differently, a very realistic expectation would be to lose 5 to 8% of your total body weight during the first 2 phases. That's 16 days. And then after that point, 1 to 2% of your total body weight per week past that is a very realistic and actually optimal amount of weight loss to lose. So I hope that that sort of supports you in understanding what some of the expectations are here. Now, let's talk a little bit about the outline of nutritional consultation. So when we're working together, we're going to be together for 6 months. And during that time, we will be able to communicate via messaging, via voice messaging, and then we will also have some calls throughout that time. During your first appointment, this is going to be where you complete the intake form. We're going to take a look at what your goals are. We're going to walk through the different pillars of health evaluation so that we can really gauge where you are now and then track that along the entire process of that 6 months working together. And then I'm also going to send you your requisition form so you can go get your blood work done, as well as a welcome guide so that you feel really well prepared going into this process together. In our second appointment, this is where we're actually going to review your plan. You've gone and got your blood work done. You've let me know. I have sent your blood results to our lab. Our team of doctors is going to put together a nutrition plan for you, and then we're going to go through the whole thing together. At this point, I'm going to instruct you to fully read through your plan twice over so that you feel really comfortable and confident going into it. And then the fun part starts. You get to select your start date, and we're going to have frequent communication during that entire time. Your third appointment is going to be when you're just about finished phase 2 so that we can start to prepare you for what phase 3 is going to look like. We're going to take a look at what your core pillars were, your goals were before starting, as well as where you're at today. So this is a really exciting way to gauge like what sort of changes have actually happened. And then we're going to get into the review of what phase 3 is going to look like. I'll walk you through some of the new foods that you get to add in phase 3 and what that process is going to feel like for you. Now, fourth appointment is going to be about 6 weeks in. And at this point, this is where we can make any adjustments that are needed. So at this point, you're more than comfortable. You're totally understanding what your plan is looking like and feeling like. You are following the 8 simple daily rules. You're feeling really good about knowing what measurements to have for all of your foods, you're drinking your water, etc. We're going to make any adjustments that are needed so that this can, again, feel super sustainable for you long term. Now, our fifth appointment, this is about 3 months in. So a 3-month review is really just to reevaluate what's going on. Again, we're going to take a look at where you were 3 months ago, where you are going 3 months from now. So this is our halfway point, and this is a really exciting time. Again, we're going to have opportunity to make adjustments, to tweak things, to really get you feeling even more confident moving forward. And then finally, your 6th appointment is going to be where we're going to evaluate your results. This is where it's going to be a walk, like a sort of a guide rather, into phase 4, into your maintenance phase, so that you know that these are going to be some core pillars that will stick with you for the rest of your life, and that you have some really wonderful follow-up steps to go along with so that you feel good. Now, the next question is always, what is the cost of the program and what is included? So what is included is your blood work. Now, these blood values, we're going to be looking at 36 different lab values to really understand specifically what foods to recommend to help to bring you into balance on a metabolic level. This is going to include a custom nutrition plan, which is again created by a team of doctors in Germany. It's going to have all of the specific foods, specific measurements, your water prescription, and so much information on how to actually apply this for you. It's going to include a bioelectrical impedance scale. Now, as far as scales go, I'm not as concerned about the number on the scale as I am about some of these other measurements, like your water levels, like subcutaneous fat, like skeletal muscular weight. All of these are really, really important things to measure. And this is part of what you're going to be measuring during this whole protocol. And I will send that to you. That is included. This includes 6 months of personalized coaching with me. It's going to include a program that works without the yo-yo effect or the need to try something else. Again, if you've taken any nutrition plans off the internet, if you've ever done a diet before, you will understand how frustrating that can feel when you really are trying to stick to something and it's just not working for you. I've been there. I've tried all of them. I've tried keto. I've tried the raw thing, all of it. So this is how we can have sustainable results long term. And then there's no additional costs ever again. You're always going to have your plan. You can revert back to it at any point if you need to, and it's always going to be there. I know that's a lot of information, and I sincerely hope that all of your questions were answered. But of course, I invite you to bring any other questions that you have about this process, about this approach, to our call together. And I'm so excited to meet you. I'm so excited to talk with you more about this, and I'm so excited to work with you on your nutrition journey. Thank you so much for your time.